What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going down from Van Nuys down south to Los Angeles. We're going to be going 16 miles and it's going to take us 49 minutes in this Los Angeles traffic. It's only 3:17 p.m. but the traffic has already ramped up and it's going to take us that long to get down there. So we'll see today how Autopilot does in this Los Angeles traffic. Thanks for watching another video guys. If you're new here, my name is Dennis. I picked up this Tesla Model 3 about 4 months ago and I make videos on my experience, including a weekly Autopilot video in Los Angeles traffic. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. Alright, so let's go ahead and get on the highway. We're going to get on to the 101 and then we're going to throw on Autopilot after we merge in. Okay, looks like we're good. We'll probably stay on this right lane because right lane continues onto the 101 and where the left lanes go on to Pasadena. Alright, so we'll go ahead and throw on Autopilot. In terms of what version this is 2019.40.50.7, version 10.2. So a little bit of traffic. I've done a lot of morning commute videos, so this is a afternoon commute video, one of the few of them. So we're going about 30 miles an hour right now. Cruise control is set to 75 miles an hour. It looks like the camera I have, it just doesn't really have in-body stabilization as well because it's a full frame camera. It's a Sony a7 III, whereas some other cameras stabilize a little bit better so you don't see as much shakes. So I'm going to try and hold the camera as much as possible so that way you don't get too many of the shakes. But I think it's just the camera doesn't really isolate video as well, and Los Angeles roads are just really bumpy. The Lexus coming into our lane. Tesla didn't necessarily close the gap too quick. Okay, a little bit of braking there. Slowing down to 15 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour. Autopilot hasn't really signaled to try and change lanes yet, so that's pretty interesting. Even though that the lane to the left of us has been going faster, Autopilot just wants to stay in this lane. Alright, so now we have a highway merging in, or a highway on-ramp merging in from the right. Let's see if Autopilot, okay, so it's now shifting a little bit to the right to kind of get into the center of this wide lane, as you can tell, but no glitching. So that's one thing I've noticed with the new update is that in previous versions, when we had on-ramps coming on like that, Autopilot would freak out and want you to grab the steering wheel. So now Autopilot recognizes that the lane is getting bigger from the on-ramp and just moves to the center of it, and there's no freak out from Autopilot at all. Okay, so Autopilot's still staying in this lane even though the left lane is an empty lane completely. I guess it can't recognize that it's going faster because no one has passed us. There's a motorcycle just passed us, going a little bit faster. Here's a car. Okay, and there we go. Autopilot has now recognized that the lane to the left of us is faster. So it's now asking us to change into that lane. So let's go ahead and do that. One thing I've noticed with auto lane change is that it definitely is more aggressive. Before, when you would signal or give the confirmation to change into the lane, it would kind of sit there, observe the lane that you would want to go into with the turn signal on, and then wait for the best possible moment. Now, when you signal it for it to turn into the lane, it immediately recognizes it and kind of darts the wheel pretty jarringly to the lane so that it goes into the lane immediately. So this is where adjacent lane change was kind of annoying, because if you just noticed there was a huge gap between us and the car in front of us, but Tesla Autopilot didn't want to close the gap because the cars to the left of us was going slower than the car and closing the gap in front of us. So as I mentioned, auto lane change is definitely a little bit more aggressive now with the latest updates. It is a little bit jarring when it kind of jerks the steering wheel into the lane or darts the steering wheel into the lane that you want to go into. As further updates come, I feel like full self-driving will be worth it more and more. I was having a debate with my friend because he wanted to pay the $7,000 to get the full self-driving, and I was telling him it wasn't really worth it because the only thing that you get that's of worth value is the auto lane change. Summons is kind of gimmicky, where it comes to you in a parking lot, and auto park is kind of gimmicky as well, unless you're just really bad at parking and you use auto park all the time. But the one thing I noticed, or I forgot to realize, was for normal people that don't have full self-driving and they only have auto steer, they stay in the lane on their autopilot, and then when they want to change lanes, they have to turn off autopilot, change the lane, and then re-engage autopilot. So I can see why that can get kind of annoying, because on full self-driving, all you do is just leave it in autopilot, signal that you want to get into the lane, and then it gets into the lane for you while continuing to stay on autopilot. But is that worth $7,000? Not exactly too sure. Okay, so it looks like we're picking up some speed now, 40 miles an hour. Looks like the highway is opening up for the 101 South as people go towards Pasadena on the left. Going 60 miles an hour. Cruise control is set to 65. We're just pacing the Subaru ahead of us. Probably tell it's super bumpy here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and auto lane change to the left. No one's in the left lane at all, and we're good. Increasing speed to 70 miles an hour. Some more bumps. Maybe in post I'll just have to stabilize the footage so it's not as shaky. And then it might look all warped a little bit, or warpy, as we drive through all these bumps. Shadow braking there. Not sure what that was. No cars were coming into our lane. It just braked a little bit. Maybe the bridge above us, but couldn't really tell. Going 60 miles an hour. After we pass through this hill, we're going to be in the Hollywood area, and there's definitely going to be a lot of traffic at that point as we make our way down towards Los Angeles. Tesla wants to get into the left lane because it thinks it's a little faster. But there's too many cars, so we're probably not going to let it go into that lane at all. So more bumpy Los Angeles roads. Okay, after this Prius, let's go ahead and up. Whoa. Bumpy roads. I guess Tesla can't really notice that there's a bunch of potholes in the road, so of course they can't divert from that, but as a normal driver, you're out of the path of the potholes. Okay, made our lane change, and now we're increasing speed to 75 miles an hour, but we're probably going to reduce speed really soon as we get into some Los Angeles traffic. Super bumpy. Still going 70 miles an hour. I'm going to slow down at any moment for the traffic. Heavy braking there, all the way down to 14 miles an hour. I would say that was a little bit aggressive on that braking. I wonder if it's because autopilot couldn't necessarily see the vehicles in front of us. That braked pretty early, I would say, for those cars. Let's go ahead and get in the left lane. There is a Jeep in that lane, but we're pretty good. And now we crawl our way back to Los Angeles, or crawl our way through Los Angeles for that matter. And brake to a complete stop. So just to give you an update on our traffic situation, we have another 6.5 miles to get back home, and it's going to take 34 minutes to travel 6.5 miles. And right now it's 3:36 p.m. in the afternoon. We're going to get there at 4:10, so just to give you an idea of how bad Los Angeles traffic is if you don't live here. So this is pretty much it. a bunch of stop and go traffic as we crawl our way back home. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Thanks for watching. Hit that like if you enjoyed this video, and comment below on how you feel the newest Tesla update is doing with traffic and auto lane changes and full self-driving or driving on the highway. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.